honestly only know about American politics from what I read on the internet, but since we all love shitting on leftists, I figured we'd get a kick out of this. Also, it's trending on Twitter, so you know it's important. She was a Bernie campaigner, is supported by BLM, and wants to abolish immigrations and customs enforcement. Also, this was in a solid blue congressional district, so you know she's a shoo-in for next Congress. But hey, we did get to see Trump laugh at Crowley on Twitter.
There was barely any voter turnout in her district this year, and she's actively, openly anti-ICE. I sincerely, genuinely hope that they keep pushing more and more of these young, know-nothing communists and socialists right to the top of the stack. It's perfect.
That's what Hillary supporters were saying about Trump getting the nomination 3 years ago.
I'm mostly astounded by the turnout because allegedly the Democratic bases are supposed to be the most energized that they've ever been, judging by how routinely we keep hearing about the blue wave. But then even in deeply Democrat-oriented districts we're routinely seeing abnormally low numbers in quite a few of the primaries, now. Granted, the turnout for primaries is very different from the turnout you see in the actual elections, but I'm still fascinated by just how low some of these are.
The blue wave has always been a pipe dream, if not deliberate propaganda, damage control, in wake of the 2016 election and how the DNC handled their loss. Low turnout is easily explained by A, the party being deeply divided after a particularly bitter primary, B, there being less than even a token attempt to reform the party beyond fact triumph, C, regular, embarrassing hysterics since the election that are driving moderates to register as independent and lose primary voting rights, and D, it's a primary for a midterm election, the kind of election Democrats historically have terrible turnout for because of their reliance on the youth vote. Republicans bounced back so quickly after 2008 because their candidate wasn't deeply unpopular within the party and because old people are more civically engaged, or have nothing else to do, and get out and vote. Democrats aren't likely to get their own version of the 2010 midterms under Trump unless something amazing happens and they manage to lose gracefully to him in 2020 and energize their base for 2022. I expect they'll get a similar version of the 2006 midterms where there's a very slight change in the House and Senate to put them in the majority, mostly because people are sick of 6 years of the current administration.
Ocasio-Cortez shreds conservative commentator for sharing picture of her childhood home.
Yeah, that seems newsworthy. Let's run with that story. Seriously, what's with the astroturfing around this woman? She isn't even elected, all she did was win a primary in some district in New York. Why the hell is the media paying so much attention to this one specific person?
If I had to guess, this is who they're going to try to push as their new Obama. I doubt it'll work though. Obama was never really too specific on many issues, and the press never pressed him on anything, so appeared more palatable to the average voter. This woman has already come out on some things that I believe would not sit too well in a general election.
The media is chimping out over her for the same reason they are 24/7 chimping over Trump. Anyone who is the soulless neoliberal party hack threatens to upset the apple cart in either direction on immigration, the economy, or foreign policy, which makes rich donors and the dead-eyed ghouls of the deep state fucking terrified. Both parties can say whatever they want in public, but in reality they work together to ensure that the status quo never changes.
Social's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez attacks Israel, calls them macaires of Palestine. When pressed on what she meant, she struggled to give an answer and then admitted she does not know what she is talking about.
Confusingly, in that exact same interview she also referred to Israel as occupying Palestine. I don't think that taking a stance on both sides of an issue really counts for much if you don't let the camera so much as cut away before you hop over the fence. I've also never actually heard her talk until now. Is it just me, or does she literally sound like she's 10 years old?
So she can't decide herself whether she is in favor of socialist model. What a pussy. Even spineless Bernie owned his socialist label from beginning to end.
If Karl Marx was resurrected today, he'd choke this woman out for being so illiterate, along with the entirety of Rose emoji Twitter.
I was pretty skeptical of the whole all Democrats are going the way of the Whigs stuff that I'll try people cream themselves over, but at the rate the lunatics are burning down the asylum, I don't think the Democrats will survive if Trump wins a second term.
Political parties die and reform themselves all the time as their message goes obsolete. The Democrats won't survive in their current form for much longer, but to suggest all left-leaning political opposition would disappear completely with them is silly. A loss in the midterms and a loss in 2020 will kill the social justice globalist Democrats for good, paving the way for the next group of them, whatever they'll be known for. It won't lead to permanent republicanism. That's the same faulty logic that led the Ds to where they are now, an arrogant belief that the Republican Party had floundered for good after failing to stop Obama, gay marriage and ACA, and it was Democrats forever, so why even bother with Michigan and Wisconsin? I think people worrying about party collapse have, ironically, failed to notice that Trump single-handedly collapsed and reformed his party overnight. Total meltdown for the Dems would be a good thing. It'd clear out the dead wood and rot. Think of it this way. The Democrats are the football team that finished last in the league. The coaching staff will get the axe, but no matter how bad the season they had, the franchise itself is not going to cease to exist.
This whole identity politics has become a religion. It replaced those. Remember back when you had crazies holding Bibles and running up to you and saying I was hooked on heroin. But now I found the Lord, with a crazy-eyed stare? I see that same mad look in people's eyes when they get incensed about something social justice related. And that dehumanization is very much like the sort of talk you see in the Middle East Sunnis. They are not human, not even dogs. Despite people saying they are too enlightened to believe in religion, they've just replaced it with another, that they don't call religion, but it is. I see the same constant SJW shit on my Facebook wall that was constantly shoved in my face a decade ago when I knew a guy that was a Christian fundamentalist. It's their identity now. They can't find their own meaning in life, so they cling to a dogma. You won't convince them unless they want to be convinced. I wonder if in a decade we'll see an interview there they ask the guy but how can you not believe in social justice? Without it, you could kill and rape whoever you wanted.
Rising Democratic star, Ocasio 2018, soon to go to Congress from New York, all but apologized for using words massacre and occupation about Israel, saying she spoke as an activist, and she is no expert on the Middle East and is willing to learn and evolve. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez can't explain occupation of Palestine but opposes it. Democratic Socialist and New York congressional candidate Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez recently sat down with PBS's Margaret Hoover and offered up harsh criticism of Israel, then embarrassingly admitted she knows little about foreign affairs.
Lincoln famously quipped that it's better to keep your mouth shut and allow others to think you are an ignoramus than to open your mouth and remove all doubt.
Democrats should maybe slow their roll on pushing Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez as their next big star.
I love it. Even CNN can see the train wreck that's about to come careening down the pipeline, but it's way too late to do anything to stop it now. I love that she majored in international relations and economics and within the span of a single interview demonstrated that she knows nothing about either. Probably should have spent more time awake in class instead of woke outside it.